Have you started using AI yet? I bet you have, but not like this. Today I'm going to show you a surprising, powerful way to use AI that will transform the way you lead forever. My name is Siddhav Sheikh and I help leaders build high-performance cultures. Now you know there are 3 core pillars that drive a high-performance culture. But here's the challenge. How do you know where your areas of development are as a leader? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to turn AI into your own pocket executive coach. You'll learn exactly how to identify your leadership gaps and close them with actionable strategies, all using free AI tools. Now, if you haven't subscribed already, do so for more practical leadership advice. Let's dive in. We know that AI is used by millions of people around the world for large data analysis and automation, but AI goes far beyond just number crunching, and these uses aren't being talked about. I came across this concept of using AI as a pocket executive coach one time when I was super frustrated with a situation. I started to vent to Claude AI, a particular tool that I use, and I was just talking to it like as if I would talk to a friend or an executive coach. And the results blew me away. Claude sympathized with my situation, acknowledged my pain, summarized what I said in its own words, challenged my beliefs, and gave me 3 very practical ways to solve the problem that I hadn't even considered before. To say that I was blown away is an understatement, and it really was like having my own personal executive coach for free. So I want to show you exactly how to do this for 3 very separate, distinct scenarios. Before I get into it, let me just explain the different AI tools that are out there. Everyone knows ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is fantastic, particularly the newer models that are quick to analyze your information and give you very good, succinct, and helpful responses to whatever your question is. Now, with the search capability, it also has the ability to go into the internet and look for information for you. Claude AI is another tool that I use that I will be talking about in this video that I have found to be the best for these pocket executive coach types of situations. Now, Claude AI does offer a free plan and a paid plan. However, I have found that the free plan works just as well. There are a couple of caveats though. I recommend that you use Claude AI on their Sonnet 3.5 model only because their Haiku model is very concise and will not go into the depths that you need this pocket executive coach to get into. So I'm going to show you 3 use cases and I'm going to go right into the tool to show you exactly how it works and what types of prompts you should be using. Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm here inside of Claude AI and it's really simple. You go to claude.ai and it'll open up a new window to help you log in. I just go through Google sign-on and that works for me. So you're here. The first prompt that I put in is I am the head of talent and business management at a small data analytics and benchmarking firm in Toronto. I manage talent, HR, PMO, office services, legal, and I have 2 direct reports. I want to uncover my leadership gaps. Can you help me with this? And that's all you ask to start with. The response that AI will give you is this. I will be happy to assess your leadership gaps in your role overseeing multiple critical business functions. Let's approach this systematically. And this is what I love about Claude is that it will break down your prompt into very specific pieces. It says, given your role managing talent, HR, PMO, office services, and legal with a small team, I'd like to explore a few key areas first. This will help us identify potential gaps more effectively. Which aspect of your leadership responsibilities do you find most challenging currently? In managing such diverse functions with only 2 direct reports, how do you prioritize your time and attention across these areas? I suggest starting with these focus questions rather than making assumptions, which is great because AI will not, like Claude will not make the assumption that it knows already what your answers are going to be, so it's asking you to answer these questions. This will allow me to provide more targeted, valuable insights for your specific situation. Which of these areas would you like to explore first? So this is great because this gives you the option to think about the questions that it's asking you and answer them systematically. And the way I answered them was like this. Keeping on top of all the deliverables across my area is the most challenging currently. I don't do a very good job of prioritizing my time and attention. I'll give one area attention one week, then another area another week. It's a lot to be sure, but we don't have the budget to hire more resources for me. And that really is my biggest issue. So the answer that Claude gives me is, thank you for your candor. And this is another reason I love Claude is because it's so conversational. You feel like you're talking to a friend. Based on your responses, I can identify a few potential leadership gaps that we can work on. So clearly, number 1 is workload management and prioritization. The 1 area per week suggests reactive rather than strategic management, which is true. Lack of systematic prioritization framework, which is also true. And risk of important tasks falling through the cracks when shifting focus. This is 100% true for me. The second piece is delegation and team optimization. With limited resources, maximizing your two reports' capabilities becomes crucial. And this is something that I struggle with. How do I ensure that they are taking on as much as they possibly can while freeing my time up to do some of the higher level strategic work? Potential underutilization of team members' full capacity. This does happen. Both of my direct reports, I have struggled with giving them the type of work that I need to give them and ensuring that they are fully at capacity. Need for clear role definition and accountability. Let me suggest some practical steps to address these gaps. So number one, it says to create a strategic overview. So now it gets into the actual tactics of how to solve this problem. It gives you a little chart here. Weekly must-dos. It's already, without me telling it anything, already given me these high-level things that I know I have to do, but I hadn't maybe written it out like this before. Then it says implement a simple priority matrix. We've seen this one before, right? And then it says, would you like me to provide specific delegation strategies for your two direct reports? I think that if I were to say to it, please develop a risk assessment framework to help with prioritization. And as soon as it does this, it starts to think. It says, I'll create a practical risk assessment framework tailored for your role overseeing multiple business functions. And so if I click on here, you'll see it's giving me a whole different document with a whole risk assessment framework. Let's see what this document looks like, and you see it's huge. So risk assessment framework, impact categories, business continuity impact, the financial impact, legal compliance, risks, people impact, reputation risk, and then the urgency multiplier. This is amazing. Like the level of detail that this thing goes through, and it tells you how to even calculate your score. Like it's phenomenal. And then it gives you a little planning template with you can list all of your tasks and actually put in a score for each one of the different things and then a final score. And of course, if you're even a little bit savvy with Excel or Google Sheets, you can put in formulas to help you. And then it says delegation thresholds. Tasks scoring less than 12 should be considered for delegation to direct reports. This is outstanding, with the exception that legal and compliance tasks scoring 3 in LR category. So resource critical, high 60% of available time. Like this is just over the top amazing. I do have to mention this is on the Claude 3.5 Sonnet. You have to make sure that you're using the 3.5 Sonnet, as I mentioned before. But other than that, this is how you can figure out your leadership gaps. Use case number 2 is about helping you make a decision. So this is the prompt that I entered. I need to make a decision about hiring a new team member, and I have 2 candidates. Candidate A has amazing technical skills, but the interview seemed quiet and reserved, and candidate B is good, not exceptional technical skills, but was very enthusiastic and had great communication. I said, I'm leaning towards candidate A because we really need the technical expertise. Can you analyze my decision-making process as a leader and identify any potential blind spots or biases? And this is the response. Let me help you analyze this decision from multiple angles. The fact that you're seeking to examine potential blind spot is already a strong leadership approach. It's amazing how Claude will give you validation for some of the things that you put in here. It actually is, it makes you feel better too, on top of the fact that you're asking AI for help. The current decision logic, the potential blind spots to consider is the long-term impact. What are the hidden costs and benefits? And then the role requirements. What's the balance of technical versus collaborative work in your current team? And this could help determine which candidate might fill the gaps more effectively. Would you like to explore any of these aspects in more detail? So you can see it hasn't given you an answer in this situation, but it has given you some really good questions to think about. This is a more practical example, but this could work in any situation. Another use case for AI, particularly as a Pocket Executive Coach, is ask AI how it would handle a challenging feedback session with an underperforming employee. Ask AI to critique your next major change initiative communication. Ask AI how to deal with a problem employee. Ask AI how to deal with having a conversation with your boss about something very critical. Ask AI to identify and help you break through some of the limiting beliefs that you might have. Okay, so what are the key takeaways from all of this? Number 1, talk to AI like you would talk to a friend. In the old models, you would need to set up that, oh, you are an executive coach, or you are a life coach, or you're a personal trainer. You don't have to do that anymore. These days, the models are so smart that they immediately pick up on what you're asking and are able to adapt their style based on the question. Get as detailed and descriptive as you possibly can. The more information you put inside your initial question, the better the response is going to be. So if you need to provide some background information, go ahead and do that, because it'll make the AI response that much more intelligent. My recommendation is to download the app on your phone as well and use the same login information so that you can transfer between desktop and your phone whenever you want. Also, with the time limits on Claude AI, it actually helps, because if your time expires while you're sitting at your computer, a few hours later, if you have your phone handy, you can go back and resume the conversation. Now, the paid version of these tools, whether you're using ChatGPT or Claude AI, it doesn't really matter. They're all about the same, $20 US per month. I mean, when you really think about it, a real executive coach has tons of experience, so I'm not saying that AI is going to replace an executive coach. But when you want a quick answer for something that has been troubling you, that is not worth bringing up in a coaching session or worth hiring somebody for $300, $400 an hour, this is a really good tool. And for $20 a month, it's actually not too bad. I just want to say this is not a paid promotion of any kind. I'm sharing these tools because I have used them, and the use cases for them, I found them extremely helpful in my life, and I'm just sharing how they could make your life maybe a little bit better too. And if you're serious about elevating your leadership style even further and building that high performance culture, the link to book a call with me is below. Let's have a chat and see where I can help you. Now over to you. I want to know, are you going to use this as your pocket executive coach? And if you are, I want you to come back to this video and tell me what the results were. Did you get any insights from this the same way I did? That's it for this week, my friends. I will see you next time.